The wild boar population in the US has reached alarming levels, with Texas alone reporting nearly 3 million of these beasts, a staggering number. With such a horde, they've ravaged everything from crops and land to barns thought to be impenetrable. Traps have been set far and wide, but these cunning monsters slip away with ease. That's why today, Nick's hunting crew is heading straight to their lair, tracking them to the source to protect our homeland. Will this hunt succeed in stopping these marauding beasts? Join us for the heart-pounding moments that follow. This hunt is as dangerous as it gets, with the team fully geared up to venture into the Texas swamps, the sacred stronghold of these monstrous beasts. Nick's crew races forward on a boat, slicing through the dense brush at breakneck speed. Every pair of eyes scans the surroundings, not missing a single twitch in the undergrowth. Within minutes, Nick spots the target. The team closes in, rifles raised and ready. As the wild boars come into view, shots ring out with near-perfect precision. The herd doesn't even have a chance to flee. They drop right there in the swamp. Jay expertly maneuvers the boat, weaving through towering grass in hot pursuit of the prey. The roar of the engine sends the wild boars into a panic, scattering in a frantic bid to escape. Jay swerves closer, pinning the beast in place, giving Nick and the crew the perfect shot to launch their attack. In an instant, a barrage of bullets erupts, relentlessly taking down one boar after another. Everywhere they pass, only the strewn carcasses of the beasts remain. On the tranquil river, where wild boars often bask in the sun and forage for food, Leon and his team were assigned to this hotspot. They moved silently, careful not to make a sound that could give them away. "15 minutes later, a boar suddenly bolted from the river's edge, desperate to escape. Without a moment's hesitation, Leon fired. A single bullet was all it took to drop the beast. It didn't stand a chance against his deadly aim. After an incredible morning haul, the team took a quick break to gear up for the afternoon hunt. By 3 p.m., Nick's crew was already out on the high ground, thick with brush, ready to track their prey. The truck roared forward, its engine snarling as they tore through the undergrowth, scouring every thicket. It didn't take long for a wild boar to show itself. Nick seized the moment, closing in with seasoned skill, and in a split second, he dropped the beast with flawless precision. Before Nick could even check the kill, the hound's barking erupted nearby, and he charged toward the sound without hesitation. Oh, there it was, a wild boar, cornered and pinned by the relentless pack of hunting dogs.
Get him.
Nick's signal to the dogs didn't work, so he crept closer, silent as a shadow, to avoid spooking the beast. Then, with perfect timing, the familiar crack of his rifle rang out. The boar collapsed, powerless to fight back. Beneath the thick tangle of brush, Jay's eyes locked onto a wild boar, frantically searching for a place to hide. This was the golden moment. Jay squeezed the trigger, each shot ringing out, halting the beast's desperate run. It crashed to the cold ground in a heap. A sigh of relief escaped Jay's lips. He knew this land would have one more day of peace.
The cunning wild boars not only devastate crops, but also expertly conceal themselves in treacherous terrain, challenging even seasoned hunters. To confront them, sharpshooters must prepare meticulously and engage in a relentless battle. Will they succeed in halting the advance of these destructive pests? Join us to witness the thrilling pursuits and ambushes that follow. And don't forget to pick the hunt that impresses you the most. A perfect ambush unfolds with gripping tension in the dense forest. Thomas, stationed in his pre-designated hiding spot, keenly observes every movement around him. Suddenly, a herd of wild boars lumbers into his line of sight. Without hesitation, a rapid burst of gunfire erupts, taking down the two fattest beasts. The rest scatter swiftly into the deep woods. Undeterred, Thomas gears up for the next pursuit, determined to ensure none escape to wreak further havoc. Venturing deeper into the forest, Thomas spots the silhouette of a panicked wild boar fleeing. Aligning his aim with the target's frantic path, he pulls the trigger. The shot rings out instantly, and the beast collapses unaware. A precise, decisive strike, eliminating yet another threat to this land. At another location, the chase reaches its fever pitch. from his hiding spot. The sharpshooter quickly spots two wild boars charging toward him. He swiftly assumes a ready stance, aligning his aim with the prey's movement. A gunshot cracks, dropping one boar instantly. Determined not to let the other escape easily, he signals the blockade position below. In less than a minute, another shot echoes to the forest, and the final threat is neutralized, putting an end to the devastation caused by these savage beasts. Leaving the dense forest behind, we move to the thickly wooded hillside where the savage beasts are hiding. Nick's hunting team arrived early, deploying a tight encirclement around the hill, determined to let none escape. Just minutes later, a gunshot rings out from James' position, the precise moment a boar emerges from the thick underbrush. A perfect shot hits its mark, and the beast collapses on the spot, unable to take another step. At the same moment, a wild boar suddenly appears in Nick's line of sight. A rapid volley of gunshots rings out, finally halting the beast's charge. A split-second delay could have let escape. Thanks to that decisive strike, this land is spared another threat. On the hillside now, Nick's team is primed for the next confrontation. Nick is assigned to the blockade position. Gunshots ring out relentlessly from the upper positions as the cunning wild boar weaves through the thick underbrush, dodging a barrage of bullets. Yet, with a seasoned skill and steely resolve, Nick successfully cuts off the beast's escape route.
Wild boars, with their ability to survive in any condition and sharp tusks, not only devastate crops, causing millions of dollars in damage, but also pose a risk of spreading disease. At this critical moment, hunters must step in to stop the threats. Will this battle be enough to halt the monstrous horde? Coming up are breathtaking moments of ambush and pursuit, where courage and precision decide everything. Follow along now. A thrilling ambush is unfolding on the hills of Turkey. Nick's hunting team arrived early, taking positions to surround the area. After 15 minutes, a hunter swiftly spots his target. Without hesitation, he locks his aim and pulls the trigger. The gunshot echoes, sending the boar herd into a panicked stampede, leaving the last one's body on the cold ground. A decisive, precise shot, kicking off the relentless hunt. Not letting the prey escape, the radio immediately signals the location of a wild boar that just slipped away. Nick quickly determines its direction using the tracking device and rushes to the spot. There it is, a large, fat wild boar surrounded by the pack of hunting dogs at the base of the slope. As it steps onto the trail, a bullet strikes the beast directly, giving it no chance to flee. A clean operation, marking another victory for the team. Continuing down the hillside, Nick quickly spots a wild boar lurking in the bushes. As it emerges from the shadows, it instantly falls into his sights. Gunshots ring out in rapid succession, blocking its escape route on the trail. The beast collapses in the grass by the path, another threat eradicated from this forest. At the same time, amid the dense bushes in Spain, a top-notch ambush is being executed. Another hunting team has surrounded the area, poised and ready. Jack is intently scanning the surroundings when a wild boar suddenly bolts out of the bushes. Without a moment's thought, a precise shot rings out, dropping the beast before it can react. A lightning-fast, decisive reflex that saves this land from a destructive claw. At another position, after 15 minutes of waiting, the final beast finally appears in the hunter's sights. The gunshot rings out instantly, so fast that the boar collapses before it even realizes what's happening. Just one shot, halting the threat to this land. Continuing to track the remaining traces of the wild boars, a sudden rustling sound breaks out. The hunter immediately turns toward the noise, and at that very moment, a wild boar charges out. Acting on instinct, he pulls the trigger, and the beast collapses before it can launch an attack. A truly heart-stopping moment. Just a split second slower, and it might not have been the boar lying on the ground. Another threat eliminated in the blink of an eye. Hunting wild boars is not just a passion, it's a battle for survival between humans and the savage claws of these monstrous creatures. Only fearless, experienced hunters have the grit to handle life or death situations like the one just witnessed.
At 4 a.m., while the entire city still lay wrapped in sleep, we were already deep in the western forest. This wasn't a casual stroll. This was a mission. Beneath these leafy canopies lurks an uninvited enemy, relentlessly ravaging the hard work of farmers, turning lush green fields into battlegrounds. Today, we set out to answer their silent cries, their weary sighs. Will peace ever return to this land? Come with us and find out. As dawn broke, the mountainside became our first battleground. And we didn't have to wait long. At 6:15 a.m., right at the forest's edge, our target appeared exactly as predicted. My first shot struck its shoulder. It immediately changed course, trying to flee up the hillside. The second shot gave it no chance. It collapsed, forever lying on the land it never belonged to. Mission accomplished. What do you think? Was that shot a masterpiece? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let us know. We pressed deeper along the narrow trail, leading into the fields. The target appeared, completely unaware it was stepping into Death's crosshairs. The bullet struck the vital spot, ending the threat in an instant. A single shot echoed through the air, guarding the harvest and keeping the fields forever green. They think speed means escape. They're wrong. Watching it charge like a runaway car, I didn't rush. I waited for it to step into the perfect trap. Boom. Game over. The bullet stopped it dead in its tracks. Forever, at the edge of life and death. Only the fastest gets to write the final chapter. I spotted it limping from a distance. I knew this prey would be an easy catch. I gave it a warning shot. It chose to run. The second shot sent it tumbling like a puppet with its strings cut. In a life or death battle, the slowest becomes dinner. After a midday break, we moved down to the plains, where tougher, craftier targets lurk, masters of hiding who demand the teamwork of an entire hunting squad. From the watchtower, my teammate David wasn't just observing the beast, he was guarding the peace of this land. When the intruder appeared, there was no hesitation. One decisive shot pinned it down. It fell, and the threat was eliminated. No second bullet needed. One was enough. A clear message. There's no place here for destroyers like the wild boar. When the barking echoed right beside the bushes, I knew the moment had arrived. Just as planned, the strong wild boar was driven out by the pack of hunting dogs from deep within the thicket. Willingly walked straight into Death's waiting arms. One clean shot ended the flawless teamwork. It looked for a place to hide, but I found a place where it would lie forever. The sun blazed down harsher and hotter than ever. There it was, a heart-pounding chase as the wild boar poured every ounce of strength into fleeing from the relentless pack of hunting dogs. The barking grew louder, signaling the target was racing straight into the trap. The moment it came into sight, I delivered the finishing bullet, ending the chase in an instant. One shot rang out, keeping the field safe and sound. Today, I'll take you across the most notorious lands of South America, from dense jungles to golden grasslands, where monstrous creatures lurk in every thicket, ready to unleash chaos. Each trigger pull, every breathless chase, and every life or death moment unfolds in the blink of an eye. It's all waiting for you on this journey. Are you ready? Join me as we witness the most intense confrontations ever seen. John's team arrived at dawn, fully equipped and determined to take down as many targets as possible to help restore balance to the piranha forest. Upon arrival, they split up and moved to their pre-assigned positions. A few minutes passed then, in the distance, a massive figure silently drifted through the trees. John immediately took position. A clean gunshot rang out. The wild boar had no time to flee. More shots echoed through the forest, signaling that this land had become a little safer once again.
Yes!
Not far away, in Santa Catarina, another front was heating up by the minute. Nick's team quietly crept through the thick underbrush, where the beast could charge out at any moment. The sound of hunting dogs rang out, guiding Nick as he followed the faint traces left behind. Suddenly, a massive boar with razor-sharp tusks burst through the brush. Staying calm, Nick raised his gun and pulled the trigger in rapid succession. The boar staggered, then collapsed just a few meters away. One moment of hesitation, and it could have been him lying there instead. Would you stay calm enough to handle a face-off like that? At the same time, deep in Paraguay, another silent pursuit was underway. Jackson and his hunting team were making their way through one of South America's densest jungles. Suddenly, a gunshot rang out nearby. His radio crackled to life. A wild boar was fleeing straight toward Jackson. Then it appeared charging like an arrow. Jackson stayed calm, took aim with precision. That was all it took. The boar never stood a chance against his barrel. More gunfire echoed through the forest. What impressed me most about Jackson wasn't just his composure, but how lightning fast and deadly accurate his reaction was. The forest isn't always the most dangerous place sometimes. The real battlefield lies in the dry, open fields. In Uruguay, Henry and his team were tasked with intercepting a herd of wild boars that had been ravaging the forest's edge for days. Their familiar truck rumbled down the dusty road, carrying them to the ambush site. As soon as they arrived, the team quickly took cover behind the brush, lying in wait for their targets. The boars here weren't easy prey. Just a single misplaced sound could send them vanishing without a trace. Soon after, one emerged slowly, sniffing the air, searching for food. The hunter tracked its every move, inch by inch. Then gunfire cracked through the silence. Shot after shot, the boar collapsed into the tall grass, unable to fight back. Another stretch of land reclaimed. Peace restored, if only for now. Now, to another front line deep in Argentina, where endless rice fields meet the edge of the jungle. Guns and his team were locked and loaded, ready for a brutal chase. Each member was already in position, forming a blockade to ensure no boar would escape. Suddenly, a familiar shadow darted past Gun's line of sight, a pitch-black wild boar, sprinting like the wind. No time to waste. Gun snapped into position. He pulled the trigger, each shot tracking the beast's every stride. And just like that, the destruction of the fields came to an end.